Kyle back again. Today I'm with a dear friend, David. He's the MD of Across the Ocean Shipping. How you been, man?
Yeah, good.
You've been a bit busy lately, yeah?
Yeah, fair bit of travel been going on.
Yeah, so why don't we just get straight down to it? How are you and the Americans going at the moment? How's the US business going, mate?
It's keeping me on my toes, put it that way.
The amount of trips I've known you've taken there, but obviously we've got some sort of clarity now. We're getting 10%.
Yeah. Australia's in a quite fortunate position when you compare it to the rest of the world.
Yep.
We've actually got a trade deficit with the US. So
we've always had one though, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. And I think that's why we haven't been slammed with a high tariff.
Yeah.
We had a free trade agreement in place since 2005.
Yep.
So there's been free trade moving between the two countries. Now with everything that's going on with Trump and his tariffs, we've come off it at the better end at 10%. How
is this going to affect logistics, shipping to and from Australia?
Globally, there's knock-on effects everywhere.
Okay.
We've seen trade drop since it was announced.
Yeah, okay.
5% with the US. So our trade has dropped 5% with the US export-wise.
Is that because they're wanting it? Is it dropping because they're on cost, or is it dropping because they want to send the goods somewhere else now?
I think it's the uncertainty in the market. When there's uncertainty in the market, people sort of put the brakes on a little bit and just go, you know what? Let's just sit tight and see what happens. We've got a client of ours who's an Australian client. He exports from Japan into the US.
Yep.
So we handle his shipments into the US. And at one point, I think the duty rate was nearly up to 50%. So we put his goods in a free bond store in the US and we stored them until the agreement came out, and he ended up paying something like 15% in the end on his duty.
Okay, that is insane. I think you're probably one of the leading experts in the logistics in Australia. I mean, you've been MD of Across the Ocean Shipping for what, 17, 18 years now? Yep. You're very well respected in the industry. How did you get into logistics?
I fell into it, to be honest with you. Being from the UK, I'd finished school, done a BTEC in business. Always had an interest in business. Just applying for jobs. And got a phone call one afternoon from a freight forwarder based in Birmingham. Said, would you like to come in for an interview?
Okay.
Came in for an interview as a management trainee.
Yeah.
£7,000 a year.
Fuck yeah. That's big money back then.
Thought I'd made it. And I learnt all aspects of the business over probably just over 12 months.
Yep.
In that time, I'd actually got approached by one of our clients that I was doing shipping for. And they offered to double my salary if I'd go and help them in their sea freight department. So it was a pretty big promotion very quickly. And I had a good person that I worked under and continued to learn and develop. And worked for about 3 companies over in the UK.
Yep.
And then at the age of 26 decided, you know what? I just want to go and see the world. And
we all do it. I did at the same age.
Stuck a backpack on and travelled the world for 12 months. Came back. 2 of my old bosses straight away offered me a job back at the old companies. Went back, and I'd still got that itch, you know. I always wanted to travel and experience culture in a different country, and saw an advert for a migrant agent he was coming into Birmingham, so went to see them. I'm a freight forwarder. Yeah. Any chance I can get to Australia? No chance. Don't want you.
Why'd you want to come to Australia?
I suppose growing up, it was the living in the UK. It can be cold, dark.
I was there 7 years, mate.
Yeah, there you go.
I was married to one of your nationals at one stage. Dual citizen, but yeah.
So you know what it's like.
Yeah. I do.
You know, long winters, And we're
Very
fed,
long winters.
We're fed with the sunshine of home and away, neighbours. You know.
And then you get that 6 weeks in June.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like no better place to be. But yeah,
summer in the UK is fantastic.
Oh, it's amazing.
I don't think there's anywhere better when the sun's shining, but it lasts for what?
6 weeks.
Yeah. If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. And then all the You came to Australia. When did you start your own business?
Pretty much straight away.
And why did you start it? What was I've got to fucking do this myself?
I worked, when I first got here, I did a bit of temping for a couple of companies. Didn't last very long, maybe sort of 3-4 months. I honestly felt like I was going back, not just in my career, but sort of backward in time as such.
Yeah, I know.
So ultimately, I'd got this itch before I came over. I'd always wanted to try and do my own thing.
Yep.
So I decided to give it a go. I had nothing to lose. I had no money. I was renting an apartment. So I was like, you know what? I've got nothing to lose. I'm going to give it a go. Got a friend to build a website for me.
Yep.
$500. I had to pay him off over time because my
first web page was a holding page for 12 months.
There you go. That's it.
Where did the name come from? I love the name. Across the Ocean Shipping. Has it always been there, or you just needed a fucking name and said that'll do?
I needed a name, and literally myself and my wife were just going through names.
Yep.
And she threw it out there, and I went, "Oh, it's exactly what it says on the tin." Yep. Across the Ocean Shipping. Yeah, let's go with it. There's so many names in freight forwarding that are very, very similar that you can get lost.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's why I wanted something different, and it's an A. It's yeah.
When you started your business, 17, 18 years ago, did you have any vision that it would be what it is today? Because you are a serious global player today.
No, I didn't. Absolutely. I had no vision we'd be where we are. I still don't think we've achieved everything we need to achieve.
But you never will.
No.
And if you do, sell.
Yeah,
go do something else.
Always got to be raising the bar. I mean, look, when I set it up, I'd got no commercial contacts in Australia.
Yep.
So all I did was personal effects. So with the website, Google AdWords campaign, and targeted personal effects, people moving overseas need to move their products. So that involved going around to people's houses, seeing exactly the size of their shipment, be it 6 boxes, be it a 20-foot or a 40-foot container worth of goods. And I'd try and guess, okay, this is going to be the size of the shipment. And then I'd quote them on it. So I'd be driving up to places like Shepparton and Ballarat to pick up.
So you were really hand to mouth from day one?
Oh, completely. I couldn't afford to, if it meant saving money on a transport job and I could fit it in my car, I'd go and do it myself.
Yep. Okay.
And deliver it to the warehouse. I've been on the side of the road in Fitzroy building crates for a client who was moving his goods over to Norway, just to try and save money, just to get that money in.
What do you miss from the startup phase to what you are now? I know you might not much, but what do you miss? That you just can't go back to, but you're like, this is one thing that back in the day.
I suppose on the startup side, there's a buzz from every single shipment you get and every new client you get, and you're across everything. You tend to, as you grow, we've got clients that, I shouldn't say it, but
we can edit it out.
I've never met, or I don't know.
That's fine.
I've never come across them.
You're not going to know every single one of your clients. You're too big, mate.
No. But yeah, I suppose that is the big thing I miss. You're not being across absolutely everything in the business.
At what point, and this might seem a bit stupid, but I'm going to ask it, did you realise you had a global business? I know your logistics is global, but you've got offices, you've got staff overseas. When did you realise what you actually had?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think I have realised.
Because you're very humble. Even in your LinkedIn photos, you're always smiling, you're always engaging with other people, like the people that it's never just about you. It's about the industry. It's about where you are, the event. It's never just about you.
I think that's just who I am. I'm from a working class background.
Yep, fucking love that.
Brought up in Birmingham. I'm aware it can all go in 1 minute. All it takes is one dodgy deal, one person to take. You've got experience, Tav.
That's why this is called Tav's Little Video Chat, Resilience in Business. Yeah, I fucked up. I have fucked up more times than.
But find me an entrepreneur that hasn't fucked up.
None. If you haven't fucked up as an entrepreneur, you're a wannabe fucking entrepreneur with a trust fund.
Completely. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to be. What I love about your business is it's such a great brand. Everyone loves working for you. But at one stage, there was just you building crates at the side of the road in Fitzroy. When you've started to bring on staff and grow the business over the last 17, 18 years, what's a really good lesson that you've learned with staff management, growth, scale, fucking up, like the stuff that you've now got, you're set in stone, this is what I need to do? Yeah.
I think communication is a massive part of it. Being open and honest and showing vulnerability. Initially, when things went wrong, I'd lose it. I'd lose it with staff. I'd lose it in the office. Over time, you realise that people are just human beings, and we all make mistakes, and nobody does it intentionally. And that's where communication is really important, and culture. There's nothing worse than being in a toxic environment in a workplace. It doesn't deliver results. If somebody in that workplace is toxic, you've got to remove them. You've got to remove them quickly. We spend a lot of time in the office. It's not a 9 to 5 industry, freight forwarding.
No.
We're dealing with time zones all over the world.
24/7.
I was on the phone till sort of 10:30 last night with our partner in Ireland. And then I was up this morning 5:30 to messages from our US office. It's a 24/7 industry, so it's really important that we have good workspaces. That is.
So you're basically saying hiring is one of the keys to your success. Is like hire good people, take your time, get a good feeling on someone. Do you prefer to do your own hiring? I mean, I work in recruitment. We could talk about it till the cows come home. Or do you now entrust your managers around the world to hire the people that you know that you would want in the business?
I entrust management to hire people, but I always have the final say. I always meet somebody that we're bringing in, be it by video or be it in person. You've got to bring. And something I've learned over the years is you don't just hire a person on a skill set, you hire them based on what they can bring to the culture. Do they fit in the culture of the business? And that is vital to a successful business.
So you've learned that?
Oh, massively. Yeah, massively.
What do you think you've learned from, let's say, doesn't have to be the biggest fuck up in the business, but fuck ups that has happened in the business, you're going, let's not do that again. That got expensive. That one hurt. Let's not do that again, people.
I think if it seems too good to be true, it is too good.
Yeah, 100%.
We had a client. It was probably back in 2011, and it was quite an early lesson for us. They were exporting scrap tyres to China and Korea.
Yeah.
Suddenly we've got 100 containers on the water. And we're thinking, wow, this is great. This is commercial business. We're rocking. All these containers arrive at the ports in Qingdao and Busan. And we still haven't been paid. And we're chasing for payment. Part payment comes through. Continue chasing. And then we get a phone call from the owner who shipped these. And he says, I need to come and see you. He came to see us, pulled up with his business partner in their Porsche, designer clothes, and said, look, we can't afford to pay you. we need to renegotiate these rates. So we went backwards and forwards, and there was storage being incurred on these containers in Korea and China, and we're talking hundreds of dollars a day.
Yeah, I used to do tyre recycling.
And it's a low value product. So
and it's bulky, and it's dangerous, and it catches on fire.
And there's only certain
ports will accept it.
Yeah, certain ports will accept. Only certain ports will accept it.
And it suddenly becomes your problem.
My problem. I've got these containers. I've got nowhere I can take them. I can't get them off the. If I get them off the wharf, where am I going to send them in the world? Because it's scrap. So we got very heated. So what happened, funnily enough, was another client of mine who's he's got his own factory in China, but he's an Aussie guy.
Yeah,
I was telling him about it. He says, "Okay, let me put the feelers out for you." So he started putting the feelers out for me in China, and he says, "Look, there's only 2 companies in the whole of China that will accept these scrap tyres." He said, "But this is out of order, what this guy is doing to you." So he phoned up this guy. I don't know if he should say this, but he pretended to be from Today Tonight. And he phoned them up and he says, I am doing an investigative story about you sending scrap tyres to China and ripping off Australian companies in the process. Sure as hell, I got a phone call that same day, a guy coming out to see us, and he stumped up the cash. Not all of the cash,
but enough for you to go,
let's just wash our hands of it.
I think it's important that you learn to sack clients. I mean, people go, "Oh, you need the turnover, you need the business." Yeah, but a good harmonious synergy relationship between your client and yourself has to be there, because if you don't have that, right, what's the fucking point?
Yeah. Don't take low value products.
No. Don't do handshake deals.
No. Build relationships,
How important do you think learning to build the relationships is, though? Because a lot of people don't fucking get it.
It's massively, shit goes wrong in business. Every single day, shit goes wrong. I mean, freight forwarding, we've got customs, we've got quarantine, we've got ship delays. We're relying on boats, we're relying on airplanes, we're relying on trucks. Stuff goes wrong, so you have to own it if it goes wrong and be honest and upfront with your client. And so if that involves taking a punch on the nose, you take that punch on the nose, but that builds long-term trust. Okay, sometimes it's our fault. Somebody hasn't, put the right product code in to clear a shipment correctly. They've incurred duty. Okay, we've messed up. We're going to put this right.
That's good customer service. That's good business.
Yeah.
That's you making the Amazon experience of logistics, where it's just seamless.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the client has no idea. You're the expert. Something that's occurred because of a minor fuck up. I mean, shit happens. I mean, the biggest thing I've learned in my business is when little things like that happen, not to fucking lose my shit.
Yeah. And we've had people threaten to cut off staff's balls before.
I got threatened once someone to come and shoot the office up. You know what? You're going to come and shoot the office up? Okay. I don't think we should be here, people. When are you coming?
Dear.
Yeah. Okay. You've got a lot of moving parts, right? Effectively, your business and my business is similar. We're effectively herding cats. Trying to put cat over fucking move and making it all look just seem like it's all calm. Everything's fine. Product's going to be delivered. Just got a little delay. You've got all this sort of stuff, and especially in the world of digitalization and barcoding, containers getting code scanned incorrectly and put on the wrong fucking boat, and it's on the wrong side of the country.
Right.
Yeah, it's in the country. It's just on the wrong side of it. How do you develop the skill set for you to deal with that and be as fucking cool as you are? Because you're known as just Mr. Chill of the industry.
I think it comes with experience, to be honest with you, Tav. It really does. Things are going to go wrong. You know they're going to go wrong. When they do, it's how you react. Okay, we've got a problem, but here's a solution. And this is what we ingrain into all of our team members. Don't go to a client without a solution. It is really important that, and that comes down to our core values.
How do you develop your core values? Because every company has different values.
Yeah.
But I find that a company that has really core values from day one has just pulled something off the internet, because those core values are not relevant to that business.
Yeah. You can't put your core values together overnight. It's got to be something that's evolved over time.
Yep.
And to be honest with you, the first 15 years of our business, we didn't have core values.
Okay, so this is only a recent thing.
Yeah, it was just an expectancy.
Okay.
As the business gets bigger and you're taking on more and more people, and you've got people in the US, you've got people in Brisbane, you've got people in Melbourne, how are all these people aligned? How are they all on the same hymn sheet when it comes to, okay, customer service? Well, that comes down to core values, and that's why we built our core values, because we found that certain people coming into the business, it wasn't working because they just worked off the way they've always worked.
Exact prior knowledge, prior skill set, prior this. What happened 2 years ago for you to develop core values, to implement core values?
I think it was just personal growth.
Yeah, okay. So you'd had a moment where
I've still got a coach. I've got a mentor. Yep. My sales team, I have a sales coach for them.
Yep.
They all 3 offices check in with them, and have at least an hour session a week.
Good.
To help upskill them. I just think it's really important, continuous learning, and things like this. Listen to your podcast. You know, it's great because you get into the minds of other business leaders, and you pick things up from various people along the way, and that's really important.
My podcasting skill set has become a lot better the more I do, but it's about repetition, understanding, asking a better question, getting a better answer. Your business is now getting to the point where it's impossible to manage the day-to-day on every single office. What did you have to develop internally to let go and step back?
Initially, it was a lot of push from my senior people.
Okay.
You can't do everything.
Yeah, okay.
So you have to put the structure, you have to get the organisational chart in place, build a management team around you, and entrust them to run it. Most of my days now are, and it's really hard for a founder and somebody who's, and I think any entrepreneur would agree with this. When you start a business and you're on the tools, you're at the coalface, and you build that business up, and you've started in operations, sales, you've wore all hats. Suddenly, when you have to, basically, you're delegating everything out to other people. It's really hard initially for people to go, oh, okay, well, what do I do now? How do I fill my days? And I find my days are filled with meetings.
Firefighting clients. Because unfortunately, clients want you.
Yeah.
They don't want your sales stuff. They want you because you're fucking cool. I want Dave. I don't want anyone else. I want Dave to sort this out because Dave's the founder, and your clients are going, oh, what about this? What about that? And I'm getting COVID for you must have been a very interesting time because obviously you took the time, from my understanding, you took the time to look within yourself, look within the business, restructure, the margins were there. So potentially you had a little bit more to play with putting those structures, because it's fucking expensive putting structures into a company.
Yeah.
Eye-wateringly expensive. How do you feel global logistics is different today than what it was 5 years ago? And I'm not just talking COVID, I'm just talking AI. I'm talking about everyone now wants their fucking shit from Amazon tomorrow or the same day.
Yeah. Expectations have changed. COVID was absolutely insane for freight forwarding.
Yep.
Nobody knew what a freight forwarder was until COVID hit, and suddenly
you became cool.
Yeah, we became cool for the first time in our lives. It's like I need a freight forwarder. It was crazy. People were just sitting at home ordering products. It was, freight forwarders made a lot of money during that period. But it also created this expectation of, okay, people want full visibility of where their shipments are, when they're going to arrive. And it's that visibility and accountability that we've seen shift massively in freight forwarding. I mean, if you get a package from, say, DHL, you get a package from DHL or FedEx, you can track it from, the moment it's left the factory all the way to your door. With a shipping container, you still can't do that. In real time, because the shipping lines don't have individual trackers on each container. So where we've tried to plug the gap is, yes, we've invested in technology that gives tracking as live as it can be. So,
are you having to develop your own system, or it's more cost effective to go off the shelf? Because I can see that not cheap.
No, it's not. It's not cheap. It is off the shelf. There's an industry leader, CargoWise, but then there's which I think 80% of freight forwarders in Australia are on, and it's super expensive. And
they know it.
Yeah, they know it. It does the job.
That's what shit pisses me off, actually.
It's yeah.
So you built your own software?
No, we didn't build our own.
You took something, but you think. I'm going to ask you an interesting question, and you can have a think about it before you answer it. But what was the moment? Because we all grow businesses and we all fuck up, right? I lost Ryan Laurel at 36. A couple of times during COVID, I thought I was going to go broke with TRS. What did you learn when you almost lost everything? You're building a business, it's you, it's this, it's that. You might have employed the wrong staff early on and it's almost cost you everything. What did you learn? Because it couldn't all just be fucking sunshine and roses.
Yeah, no. You're going to get scars.
Fuck yeah.
I think every entrepreneur and every business owner has scars, and I think it's not being too high with the highs and too low with the lows. And that's why you said earlier I'm pretty grounded. That's probably why I'm grounded, because there can be, nobody foresaw COVID coming. We all thought, it's the end of our businesses. I mean, for freight forwarding, we went gangbusters, but we were lucky. We were a lucky industry. Where you look at the hospitality trade, they got absolutely slammed.
They still haven't recovered.
No, and that's it. I mean,
they haven't recovered.
People's habits have changed, haven't they?
Hey, I was living in Carlton at the start of COVID, and my neighbour was Ethan, who was the co-founder of July Suitcases, and we were both sitting there one night going, I don't know how we're going to.
Yeah.
Because I lost 93% of my business in 10 days. And no one was flying, so no one was buying suitcases. But then everyone went nuts with their frequent flyer points, buying shit left, right, and centre. And I guess that's what it all fucking kicked off. When we're going to travel again, we're going to need that. What's your mind? Like, people watching this, right? What mindset helps you get through stress? Daily stuff. I know you've got coaches, mentors. You've got management in place. What mindset helps you to get through all this shit?
Well, I do a boot camp every morning, so I try not.
You are very fit, man. You're fucking probably the fittest freight forwarder in Australia.
I don't feel it, not with all this flying. But I have to get up in the morning, smash out a boot camp. And it just sets your tone for the day. So I'm in the office. We have an operational huddle every morning.
Okay.
So our operations team gather, and we just go through, okay, who's facing problems today? What are your problems? And I think if you're communicating with people, it makes things a lot easier. If you bottle things up, it's going to grind on you. If you've got a difficult conversation to have that difficult conversation, because if you let things fester, it just gets worse and worse, and it eats up at you. And the moment you have that conversation, 9 times out of 10, that wasn't that bad.
Have you always had this mindset?
No.
What changed for you to have this mindset? Was it one moment where you just went, fuck this, I can't live like this anymore? Like,
I think it's a series of moments, and then you
must have been one final thing that you just went, fuck this. You don't have to talk about it. I'm just saying that eventually I find this one moment.
Yeah.
When I went, for me, starting my own business, I had an epiphany that it was money. Like I mean, hang on, I'm making all this money for a lot of other people, and I was paid very well in the UK, right? I was logistics there. So I was doing social housing recruitment in the UK, local authorities, decent homes, and I was there when the decent home standards were all they were refurbishing all the council flats, right? It was fucking, insane contracts, right? But then I realised, you guys aren't that much different to me, but I'm the one here till 7, 8 o'clock at night where you're off on fucking, And then when James Kahn from Dragon's Den bought the company I was working for through his VC fund, Hamilton Bradshaw, I went, what the I'm on the wrong side of this. Every epiphany I've had, I got into recruitment because I was a labourer, right? I was sitting there digging holes at a hospital they were building in Perth, and then having this epiphany going, I'm on the wrong side of this shovel, right? Yeah. I've got to go jump on that, right? And I've always learned from seeing other people a little bit ahead of me going, fuck, I need to be there. Now I need to be there. And I want to evolve TRS into a property business as well. But getting back to you, you have a very thriving, solid core of a business. And that's no mistake. That's it's not like you just went, fuck, it didn't end that way by chance. So what I'm sort of asking is were there a series of events that you realised your business was going in a certain direction that you weren't happy with? Was you doing all this work, stressed out and not moving the business forward? Was there a point where you went, I need a business coach, I need a mentor, I need something because I lack the skill set to take it to the next level?
Absolutely, yeah. I got fucked over.
Tell me more. I knew it was in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Tell me we're not by bringing names and stuff or making you have PTSD. You got fucked over. It cost you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Almost cost you the business.
Well,
yes.
I've been fucked over twice. Yeah. So
3 times.
First time was I took on a sales guy up in Queensland.
Yep.
And I was introduced to him. We got on really well. Good guy. So he was a sales guy in freight forwarding. He wanted to get into procurement. So did him a deal. I said, I'll tell you what, you do procurement.
Yep.
Okay. You keep building your procurement business on the side. In the meantime, you're going to help us, with our freight forwarding sales.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pay you a salary.
Yep.
I'm going to pay you a salary. Just make sure you bring in new business in Queensland, but
to cover you, we're good.
Cover you, great. But the deal is, once your procurement takes off, everything's shipped through across the ocean shipping. Great, okay. So we worked with. He was targeting high-end, big clients.
A few of them up there actually.
Yeah, a year went by.
Good market, Queensland.
Yeah, it is. It's growing all the time.
But you need to be treated like a local. It's very much like
100%.
the Perth market. It's a great market, but you got to be treated as a local.
Yeah, I find this a lot in Australia.
Yeah. Each state is different.
Yeah. Oh, it sure is.
Yep.
So he, a year went past. He was making inroads with these big companies, looking at procuring products for them in China, actually getting involved in the design of it. It's great. So we said, look, let's carry on for another year. 2 years went by. We took off. Great. So we started importing.
Yep. You're thinking everything's good.
Yeah, 60 cubic metres a week via air freight every single week. There was out of gauge shipments coming in from China. Everything was going brilliant.
Yep.
I introduced him to our web guy at the time, and they got talking. They built a friendship, and they were like, you know what we need to do with this? We need to put it in a platform. We need to make it digital. So carried on talking. It was like, well, we can introduce this to freight forwarders. We can put this out there globally to freight forwarders. If they invest in this platform, they can suddenly become a procurement and a freight forwarding arm. It's basically another
and
revenue
you're thinking,
stream.
yeah, cool. We've already got the infrastructure on the back end of this. It's going to be a good deal.
We've got the back end. Let's do it. So we started pitching it to freight forwarders. It's a hard sell. So then we travelled. I used my contacts. We travelled Asia and started pitching it to the global agent, global networks. So we did that for a couple of weeks around Asia, and then we got invited to.
Let me guess, all on your dime.
All on my dime. Yep. So we
Dinners,
then got
travel.
Oh yeah. We then got invited to Miami to present in front of 250 freight forwarders. So we got on a plane, flew to Miami. My partner at the time, he got up and he presented, and he basically got heckled off stage by these freight forwarders who just thought, no, you basically, all you want is our intel, our IP, and then you're going to take that and you basically going to take all of our clients. Freight forwarders are very insular.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And I was due up on stage after him, so there I am sitting there going, "Oh, God, could this be any worse?"
Yeah.
So I got up on stage, presented, gave it in layman's terms to freight forwarders. Come off, they loved it, brilliant. Lots of good conversations.
Right,
freight forwarders interesting, brilliant. Okay, and then from that point onwards, I started to get sidelined in the business, and
interesting.
Because they suddenly saw this is going to be really successful. We've got all the IP, we've got the network. We don't need Dave anymore. So off they went, and they carried on without me.
Right. And let me guess, they'd formed another company.
Yep.
And moved all the IP to it.
Yep. And obviously my website guy
disappeared.
But at the same time, he also took my website offline. So I'd lost all of my website. So frantically had to rebuild a new website.
Why did he take your website down?
Because obviously when I got sidelined, there was internal conflict. We were having arguments and it got pretty nasty. And I basically threatened to sue his ass off.
Rightly so.
Yeah. So he then promptly took my website offline. We got a new website put up, and he clearly still had the keys to the back door to, got in, took it down again. So I was like, okay, this is getting ugly. So that affected me mentally.
How did that all get resolved, or it didn't?
It didn't. They went off, did their thing. They got investment in their platform. I remember getting a phone call from one of the freight forwarding networks I introduced them to, and this guy phoned me up, Tom. He said, Dave, he said, these guys have been on the phone to me. They basically want my members' database so they can start pitching the product to our members, and I've refused to give it to them, and they've become very aggressive. Are you still involved with these guys? I said, I've not been involved with them for 12 months. It sounds like a familiar pattern's happening here. And then obviously my personal reputation is up in the air. Anyway, they did their thing and they got nowhere with it.
I find greed fucks up more deals than anything known. Like, greed is such a toxic thing.
Absolutely.
It's money, it's presence, it's fronting. At the end of the day, and I've actually just said this on a previous podcast, is focus on your craft, focus on your art.
Yeah.
The money that you make is a side thing. And if you focus on good customer service, looking after your client, not trying to fuck over your business partners. It's such, as we spend more time on this rock, our bandwidth gets less and less, right? I go about this all the time. It's like, you how much bandwidth did all that shit take? And it's not so much the money you lost because they went and did their own thing. It's the amount of money you lost because you weren't focusing on your business to grow it elsewhere.
Yeah. It's the money, it's the friendship,
yep,
it's the trust. And yeah, it's taking your eye off the ball.
Yep.
You know, when I'm taking my off the ball off what's actually grown my business and made us money, and I'm too busy investing in something else and, you know, involved too deep in something else, ultimately our service levels drop. So that taught me a really big lesson. Don't try and be the master and, you know,
exactly.
of all trades. Just focus on your core business and work really hard to make sure that we're a service industry. We have to deliver service.
Correct.
And that was a really big lesson for me. I got another lesson as well.
Oh, I'm very interested to know this. As I said, we have all the time in the world.
So I set up my US business.
Why did you set up your US business? It was just so much business coming out of there that you saw an opportunity, or you got asked to, or?
So what is there's?
Because I know people try to set up in the US all the time and fail miserably.
Yeah. US is, you know, it's such a big market. There's $90 billion worth of goods going out from Australia alone to the US, 40 billion coming in from the US. That's just on the Australia, USA market. I had agents in China. I had clients here in Australia who were moving into the US market, all asking me, do you know anyone good in the US?
Yep.
Like, I'd always wanted to work in the US. And I'd never had that opportunity. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and do it myself.
Yeah. Cool.
So went through the whole process. Took a couple of years to get all the documentation, licenses in place, et cetera, because you know,
it's not the easiest
No,
process.
it's not. It's not.
And it's different state to state as well.
Completely. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So got all that set up. Identified, because I used to go over to the US, go and do meet and greets with agents. I identified somebody I wanted to come in and set it up. So I went over, approached him. He agreed to join. And then out of the blue, I had another person that I knew over there phone me up and say, I don't suppose you know anybody looking for a new salesperson. I'm just being made redundant. We've just been taken over by another company.
Yep, beautiful.
So I was like,
law of attraction.
Yeah, there you go. And it was a massive investment for this person, but I brought her in. And over time, you know, over COVID, we made it. We were sweet. You know, we'd become a $13 million business just in the US. You know, over 5 years, we were doing really well. Obviously, with COVID, you couldn't fly anywhere. You couldn't even leave your house really in Melbourne. It was
no, fuck.
But that's another story.
You know, like let's not go there.
So everybody in the US was working
There's
from home.
been enough podcasts about that.
Yeah. Let's not get into politics.
Let's not get fuck no. We're there, but let's just close that door. Let's walk away from that door.
Yeah. So during COVID, obviously, I was stuck in Melbourne.
Yep.
Business was going great, making some good money over in the US. COVID finishes. I'm on one of the first flights back over to the US. Great. Meet up with the team. No, everyone's still too scared to go in the office, so we all meet outside of Starbucks and have a coffee.
What's the difference between that and the office?
Anyway, my manager there, we got a team of about six people then over there in the US. She, everything's fine, but I don't want to go back to the office. We're too scared. So they spent another 6 months working from home. Then I get an email saying, just so you know, our sales girl, she's leaving and she's setting up her own freight forwarding business. Okay.
Right.
Well, that's a blow. I better get on a plane and go over there and find out what's going on. Went over there, and it turns out my manager over in the US had actually funded my sales manager, and they'd gone into partnership together to set up their own freight forwarding business. So we lost 90% of our business overnight. There's no non-compete clauses in California.
No, there's
so
not.
All of that business that we had, it was all their personal relationships. Away it went overnight.
Do you think that was their plan from the onset?
I think they
allegedly.
I think they saw how much money could be made during, a peak time like COVID, and just gone, you know what, this is so good. And they were on very attractive commissions. They were
greed again, but I'm assuming that they haven't been as successful since.
Well,
it's good luck to them. If you're watching this, I wish you all the best. But karma has a way of sorting these things out. What's the biggest lesson you've probably told me your biggest lesson, but like your reputation and trust in the industry is without question. Like you could get things done just on your handshake, not with letters of, bank guarantees and stuff. I'm pretty sure just on your words that this is what I need done. I'll sort it out. It'll get done.
Yeah.
Obviously it's one of your assets. I actually think it's your core value, your reputation and trust that you have in the industry. When did you learn that trust and reputation is everything?
I think I've always had it.
Part of your core values. Yeah.
I think it's the way I was brought up, and treat people as you want to be treated. I've seen people who run businesses, and it's all about ego to them. Mm-hmm. To me, you can't.
They might have a BMW X5 or a Range Rover Sport.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. There's always going to be somebody who is bigger and better than you in business and achieving a lot more than you in business.
Yeah, 100%.
So, in my opinion, you don't need an ego. Okay, you got to have a bit of self-confidence, and sometimes you don't always know the right way, but your gut instinct tells you, okay, well, this might not be the right thing, but I'm going to do the right thing by our client or by our member of staff, and it will be rewarded down the line. Okay, we might take a punch on the nose now, but down the line it will be rewarded. I mean, you've touched on karma a couple of times, and
I love it.
Yeah, I'm a believer in it. It's do the right things by people, and good things will happen. It's simple as that.
When you go to make big choices, growing the company, open a US office, do you act more off a gut feeling, like this, that you sense the opportunity there, or do you more make the decision on, do your research, the market's there, we understand this could potentially work? Like do you go off facts or figures or gut feeling? Because I don't find there's one or the other.
I don't think it's a playbook. It's pure gut.
Yeah,
absolute gut with me. And a lot of people will delve deep into figures and into trade and statistics, and to me it's gut and trust what you go with. And I honestly think that's part of being an entrepreneur. You take risks that a lot of people wouldn't take. You've just got to go for it.
How do you know the difference between fearing change and knowing you need to change? Like what I mean by that is, like, that we've got to change something within the company, but your staff fear it, they don't like change. But how do you mitigate that?
Communication.
Yeah, okay.
And when I say communication, it's about teaching, and we have big whiteboards in our offices. Why? Because we put things on there and we talk about it and we walk through it.
Yep.
Doesn't always mean that we're changing and it's going to be right, because a lot of things that we do implement, they don't always go right. But you know what? We've tried it, we've looked at it, and if it doesn't go right, okay, back to the drawing board, back to that whiteboard, let's go again. Okay, what can we change? What process can we change to be more efficient, service our clients better, and have a better operational workplace? It's, communication as a leader is really important, because culture comes from the top, and it filters down, and that's really important.
Obviously, you put a lot of trust in your management team. What systems and procedures do you put in place to manage your managers? Because you can't be everywhere at once.
No, you can't be everywhere at once. You've got to be having those daily, weekly touch points, meetings, and you've got to have open and frank discussions with them. We run reports weekly. I've got an unbelievable management team. In fact, I'm not just saying this, but the reason I think I'm successful is because I'm surrounded by great people.
Yep. I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
And I think I've got great people that I'm surrounded by because I like to think that I give back to them as well. So I trust them. There has to be that element of trust with your managers. Trust is built over time and actions. And, people come in, you sit down with them, you get a gut feeling for them. I mean, you're in recruitment, Tav.
Yeah.
You know straight away if somebody's a genuine article or not.
Probably why I'm so slow at recruiting for recruiters at TRS, because I'm looking for a certain type of person.
Yeah.
Let's say you've got someone in their early 20s, send you a DM on LinkedIn or somehow find your mobile number through AI or whatever and send you a message saying, I'm 20 years old, I want to start in the freight forwarding industry. What advice would you give me? Don't do it. Yeah. Go live your life first.
Funny you should say that. I took on a girl 6 months ago in the US.
Yep.
Australian girl.
Okay.
So I went to Enterprise.
Yeah, nice.
To hire a car while I was in the US. This young lady served me. She was Australian. Saw my passport because I've now got an Australian passport, and we had a bit of a chat. That was it. Drove away in the car. Great. She sent me an email later that day saying, "I'd loved hearing about you running your business here in LA. I'd like to know more about it. I'm really interested in getting into management and maybe one day owning my own business. Could I come into the office and maybe shadow you or have a chat with you?" And nobody's ever done that before. And I was like, this is a 24...
This is different.
Yeah, this is a 24-year-old girl. She wants to, she's reached out to me to shadow me and ask me questions. I like this. This is not something you see every day. So met up with her. She turned up with a notebook, was taking notes. I said, "Do you do this with everyone?" She said, "Oh, I do it from time to time with business owners because I'm interested in learning." I said, "You know what? I will take you on based on what I've seen."
What was she doing in the US? Married to someone there? Or?
No, she's got dual nationality, so she
Game on.
So she went over there and decided to spend some time over there, a bit of work-life experience. So I've brought her into the business, and with the plan, pathway, moving forward, she's going to learn every single aspect of the business.
What's the plan? You have more offices in the US? Maybe. Not give away trade secret, maybe.
I think in time, but something experience has learnt me. It's, don't take your eye off the ball.
Yeah.
Because the minute you do, I want to buy this business, I want to expand here. Yeah. The minute you start doing that is when the wheels start falling off.
Yeah.
And it's only recently that
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Fuck yeah.
Maintain your focus. I think I've built an okay business so far.
I think you've built a fucking monster business. I don't understand what your definition is of, I think you're being far too humble.
Yeah.
You go to any logistics freight forwarding conference in the world, is there not anyone in that room who doesn't know who you are? And if they don't know who they are, probably they're not worth someone to know.
Well,
Because that's why I judge by my success.
Yeah.
Like, not that I'm respected by my peers, but like I can go somewhere, and not to say it's an ego or a narcissistic thing. It's like you run a good ship, this, that, boom, 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 good operator. Question I have for you. Where is I mean, a bit of a shop question. You know, we talked about mindset. We've talked about your core values, about why they're important. You've talked about your business coach, your sales coaches. What are you gearing this all up for? More expansion overseas, more expansion in Australia, or you want to get the business to a point where you can just focus on strategy and less plane trips? Because there's obviously a reason why you're doing all this. Without giving away trade secrets.
No. It's the reason why I'm doing it. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
I enjoy building relationships. I enjoy, meeting people from different cultures and different countries and having conversations.
Yep.
I get a real buzz from, we attend a conference and, you don't see a person for 12 months and maybe there's a couple of emails in that time, but then you meet up with them again. I can go anywhere in the world, phone somebody up and go out for a meal.
Yep. Cool.
And that's what I find really cool about freight forwarding. The fact that it's a global industry, and if you work hard and you do the right things by people, you can be successful. And I get a real buzz from forming these relationships.
What's the most interesting cargo you've shipped? Did I see you had like a hydrogen or electric plane you were shipping the other day?
Yeah. That was an electric plane in the US. So,
fuck, that's such a mind fuck. I don't know if I'd be comfortable getting on an electric plane.
Well, have you seen those cars in California now, the driverless cars?
Yeah, fuck that.
It's the way the world's going.
I'm not the guy to talk to about EVs. I'm internal combustion for life.
Yeah, there's been all sorts of products we've shipped. Dare I say, even down to human remains, which is really sad. But there's some interesting freights, but everything gets moved around the world.
It's an exciting time for any business moment with AI and just where the tech's going is in the industry. But how do you go about selling that to your staff that they're worried they're going to be out of a job or something like, we're bringing AI in and, Atlantis just made 150 people redundant this week via a 15-minute video and they're basically being replaced by AI.
Saw that, yeah.
I thought that was badly managed.
Very bad, yeah.
We'll do the video well edited. Great. And if you get and what I thought was fucking shit about it was they didn't even know who's getting made redundant. Or if you get an email in 15 minutes, you're done. But there's 6 months salary BSB'd into your account.
Yeah.
That's
poor form. I mean,
that fucks a cult. That fucks their reputation.
It does.
Yeah.
And that culture then in that business place, people are going to be going, am I going to be next?
Yeah.
Are we going to have this in 6 months' time if the economy continues to be slow?
Well, they've automatically come out and said the European operation will go the same way, but because of the labour contracts that they've got there at the moment, that it is not feasibly possible.
Yeah. It is hard, isn't it? But
well, that's the thing. I like talking about other business owners about where are we going as AI. Yeah. I mean, I'm bringing it in now for a lot of job copy. I'm finding it very handy for EBA rates. I find it extremely, it's not always on the money, but you can find certain things about companies, and I find that. But how are you managing it within your business?
Logistics has so many moving parts there's a lot of legacy in freight forwarding and logistics, and there's a lot of, it's been very slow on the development of technology in our space. We've started to see more of it, particularly since COVID. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with AI, whether, we can automate docs, so it takes away, the manual process of inputting all the information to the system, checking it, sending it.
In theory, yes. Practicality, no. I see that one being a bit of an issue.
Yeah, it can be another disruptor for our industry. A bit like in the fact of, you know, when everybody started going offshore,
Yeah.
you know, with increasing costs in Australia, a lot of people in our sector globally started offshoring their business operations to Philippines, India and Colombia. We've seen that.
Yeah. Everyone's doing it now.
There's going to be disruption with AI.
Combank's going in an AI call center.
Yeah. I mean, you look at some of these pictures online, you don't even know if it's real or not. Apparently somebody had a phone call the other day who I was speaking to, pretty sure it was an AI phone call.
Have you ever been rung up by the wine shop?
No.
Yeah, that's all AI. You know, it's just, you know, bang from there. Well, you and I have caught up for coffee previously, and we were always talking about shipping rates to Australia. Mm-hmm. And it's, you know, we're paying a price because of the availability of vessels to Australia, to and from Australia.
Yeah.
Has that got any better?
The minute you think it gets better, there's a curveball.
Yeah. Okay. Which is?
It can be geopolitical tensions in, you know, wars in Russia, Iran, globally. Things like what happened with Trump's tariff when he said, okay, there's going to be, in 90 days' time, all these tariffs are coming in. Suddenly the shipping lines are moving a lot of their vessels, a lot of their larger vessels out of the China to Australia trade lane and rerouting them into the American trade lanes. So suddenly we've got less capacity coming down to Australia, which then starts pushing up rates. So that's when you start seeing shipping rates increase.
Yep.
Now the shipping lines are notorious for this. They're obviously they're a business. They want to make money. Okay. So when rates are high, they're laughing. You know, it's great for them. So by taking capacity out of the market to Australia, it drives up the prices to Australia. So, and the knock-on effect of that is, as we saw during COVID, there was inflation because people were spending. Shipping rates were high.
They were helicoptering cash.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So when you look in the big scheme of things, Australia is actually, I know it's a huge country, but we've got a very small population.
Yep.
You know, we're a dot on the map logistically. And that's why, you know, we have sort of higher rates down here. It's not like you can call Australia. It's not like Europe where you can go port to port to port to port. Yeah. Whereas,
Australia, you're limited to what we have. What's going to be a better? And this is just, you know, these are just hypotheticals. What do you think is going to be a better growth? If you're in freight forwarding, you're looking for the future. Do you think Europe, Africa, or the US are better markets? I mean, you've got an office in the US, but like long-term growth. We can't always just be reliant on one market.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if Africa could get the shit together, there is so much potential in Africa, but
it's getting it out.
Yeah. I think India is growing as a trade partner. COVID, we saw a lot of clients looking to move their production away from China. This over-reliance on China during COVID, it made people stand up and think, oh, you know what? I can't just be reliant on China. I need to look at procuring my products, sourcing my manufacturing elsewhere.
Yeah.
Vietnam's become a very big player.
I love Vietnam.
Great food, great people.
Great food, and great quality.
Yeah.
I think this is probably where, I mean, Trump's going back to the 18-something playbook, you know, when the US had tariffs on everything, right? And it was apparently one of its most profitable, prosperous times in history. And I get that. But I also think COVID had a lot to play with this because we were so reliant on one source for everything. And I guess that's why this whole sovereign capacity piece is going on. But that's another conversation for another day. But I really like your philosophy in life. I like the way you run your business. I like the fact of how sharp, you know, and you are with all the knowledge you have and the way that you have your trust and your reputation. What habits do you do on a daily basis that just keeps all this together? Because it can't be fucking easy doing what you do on a daily basis, and the flights and this and that, and also your family life.
Yeah, I suppose I've learned that you don't have to be in the office 12, 15 hours a day.
Yep.
You build a team that you delegate to, and you trust them. As I say, I get up every morning. I do my fitness regime in the mornings, and weekends I try and switch off. Once the US are offline, around about midday on a Saturday, that's it. Feet up. I'm done. Everything else can wait till Monday morning. But then I also get a buzz. I'm always on. I can't switch off. I can't sit still.
That's what I like about you.
Yeah, and I think that's because I enjoy what I do, and I know we've touched on that, but there is so many moving parts, and we get involved in so many different products and deal with so many diverse different companies that there's never a dull moment, and that's what keeps me switched on. And just try and I put a big value on sleep as well. Sleep's really important, and that's something I haven't realised until recently.
So balance and sleep's like something you live by now.
I do now, yeah. Particularly as you get older.
Yeah, fucking tell me about it.
You might think you're 26 in the head, but yeah.
What does success mean to you now?
Having a company that's well respected,
which it is. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Your name and your reputation is everything. When we go to these events globally, I love the fact that people come up to us and they comment and say, Laura in your office, or Susie in your office, done such a great job by us. And that to me that's how I define success. It's your reputation and what people think of you as a business, and having a great place for people to work.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. What's your business going to look like in the next 5 years? Like, idea. I won't hold you to this, but like, what do you like? There's so much going on at the moment.
Yeah. Continued expansion in our Brisbane office. And
why do you see Brisbane as such a hot market?
You got the Olympics coming over to Brisbane. There's so much investment in Queensland right now.
Yep.
There's infrastructure investments in Queensland. I just think Brisbane is primed to go. I think Melbourne and Sydney have become so expensive for people. We're seeing more and more people moving up to Queensland, particularly young people. And young people will grow the future of this country.
Yeah, 100%.
And I really think Brisbane over the next 10 years is going to be the place to be. Certainly Queensland. I mean, look at the growth on the Gold Coast.
Oh, Burleigh Heads. I was at Tropicana for lunch one day, and I couldn't believe how many Victorian played cars with it.
What a great place.
Oh, I know. Fuck me, man. I was like, and it's because it's all like the GC's just coming down there. It's just going to be one bay of building. Like, it's going to be like, Jesus. Okay, so Brisbane's growing. You're growing. You're very big on mindset, coaches. The question I guess we haven't really delved into, and if you want to get there, how were your staff when you originally came up with this? We're getting you a sales coach. I'm doing this. We've got core values coming into the business, because that was a lot of change very quickly.
Yeah, I think some people can turn the nose up at that.
Did you lose any staff?
We've lost staff over the years, generally because they're not the right people for the culture of the business. I pride myself, and I look at my team in the US, in Australia. We've got a lot of A players, and we're very, very fortunate to have A players.
Yeah.
Now, when you bring somebody in who doesn't quite deliver and they think it's an easy ride, they quickly get found out and we move them on.
Okay.
Look, in the past, maybe we've held on to people that shouldn't be in the business for too long, and that's something I've learnt along the way. Somebody who's great with you when you're a small business and they stand out. As you grow, they don't like being a smaller fish in a bigger pond, and instead of being the big fish in the small pond, it really fucks with their head.
Yeah.
And self-sabotage comes in, and we've all been there.
We're going to end up in a counselling session the way we're going. I fully get that. You've got to make sure that as you grow, you have the right staff around you, and you have the right systems and procedures in place, and you're making sure that your staff are buying into the vision.
Yeah.
Because if they're not buying into the vision, they're effectively not buying into you. They're just there for whatever, and they're actively looking for another job. Something that you have a very big presence is your personal brand. Mm-hmm. Like I've asked this to a lot of people on podcasts, and I really wouldn't mind getting your feed. How important is your personal brand to the growth of your business? And have you got any deals or stuff from your personal brand? Because it is quite a strong brand. I don't know anyone else in freight forwarding is as strong a brand as you.
I started posting on LinkedIn religiously during COVID.
Yep.
Reason being, I couldn't fly anywhere to see anybody. Yeah. We couldn't go out and see anybody.
No.
So I needed to reach people.
Yep.
So the way to reach people was doing regular informed posts.
Yep.
And to me, that was really important. And to not be spamming people, but to actually give them industry insights.
Yep.
We come from an industry, and particularly during COVID, there was so many variables. There was the vessel getting stuck in the Suez Canal. There was a lot of information out there that affected both Australia and USA people, companies, businesses, that people needed to know about. So we just started putting out there, and over time, it's amazing. I go to some of these conferences in the world and exhibitions, and people come up to me and go, "I love your stuff on LinkedIn."
Yeah,
and
it's
to
good.
me,
It is actually, it's really good.
To me, that hits home because I know it's working, and we're just trying to educate our clients and our agents.
I think you should do more personal videos, mate. I mean, I've only just started doing it. Yeah. I'm not talking edited stuff that James makes us look like rock stars. Get the rig, actually do filming, because I'm really surprised that a lot of people watch that stuff more, or my shorts, than the long form. And I'm surprised how many people are interested in what I have to say. And I know people would be very interested to hear what you say.
Yeah.
But it's obviously having the confidence just to go.
Oh, it's getting out of your comfort zone, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you don't get out your comfort zone, then you're not going to achieve anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got to push yourself out there.
My only regret is not starting this sooner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look what you've built. I mean, this is great.
Oh, this is all him. I am the mere puppet of James.
What a man James is.
James is the guy who makes all the deals come together. I just come in and shoot him peace.
But you're a great people person, Tav.
Yeah, I do. I guess and thank you. I really appreciate that. I do need to take more compliments.
Only.
Yeah, I do. I guess because I'm in the recruitment business, and I've been in the recruitment, this is my 25th year, right? And you get to see patterns in certain people and behaviours and this sort of thing, right? And I guess I was worried with the personal brand that, recruiters are not taken all that nicely anymore. Like, there's been a lot of cowboys, a lot of bad deals.
Yeah.
There's been stuff in the paper. There was a certain Christmas party that made the Herald Sun. Actually, true story, my staff came to me and asked, is that what the recruit? Because a lot of my staff have only ever worked for the TRS within recruitment, so they've never worked for another agency. Is that what happens in other agencies? And I'm like, fuck. Well, I knew this conversation was going to come eventually.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll have the talk now. And I'm like, yeah, it's unfortunately that conversation. I mean, it was stupidly stupidly put together. And I've had lots of arguments with other owners in the industry. Oh, he did a really good thing. I said the fucking culture shouldn't have been in there in the first place for that to happen.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
And this is my argument. If you don't have your culture set hard, it's hard to set a culture in a startup because it's a startup.
Yeah.
It's this, it's that. It's, I remember street drinking with one of my old recruiters during COVID because we were doing a training session and like, what else were we going to do, right? And on this and that. And that's fine, but we can't do that today.
No.
We can't be doing what we started the fucking company with now. And that's where I get you go with certain staff are great with the startup, but as you evolve into this structured business, I have to explain to people about compliance, employment liability is up there. You and I have to worry about industrial manslaughter. We've got employment liability, we've got tax liability, we've got insurance liability, and it all comes down onto these set of shoulders and your shoulders right there.
And not everybody realises that all that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And you need to tick all those boxes to run a business.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
And worse, I love my friends at the feds and stuff, so I don't want a surprise audit. Is like you want to make sure that things are put into place that ensures the business to be stable and long-term, and we're going to fuck up and deals and, we've got bad. I guess you'd be a big believer in bad debt credit insurance on certain deals.
Honestly, I'm a believer in it, but we don't use it.
I've got a great broker. All he does is bad debt protection insurance.
Yeah.
I believe in it because I borrow the money for payroll. So I don't want to have that conversation with my backers going, sorry, I just lost a lot of your money.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But I guess you can't cover, I think what I'm trying to say here is you can't cover for every aspect of a business. And just because you've got a good culture in there, so that, you've just been hit with government change. There's no way that you could have. I don't know. Trump's always been pro-tariffs. He was pro-tariffs the last time he was in.
He was, but none of us expected the sledgehammer and you look at the tariff rates that he first implemented on China, it was up to 150%.
Yeah.
None of us...
That brought him to the table pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. I get why he's doing it. When you look at the trade deficit in the US, it's, 900 billion?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So, and I heard on the radio this morning, they're stating they've already claimed back $150 billion in import duties. Yep. So ultimately, you don't really foresee the level, and especially with this guy, where he's going to go with it. But I can also see why he's doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do you think, and we'll talk, I grew up around freight forwarding, so I could probably ask questions. Now that we've got not free trade agreements, but Japan's now open to the US. So US can now send cars and they can send stuff to Japan, and we start seeing new trade routes technically opening up. Do you think that's going to increase the need for freight forwarding?
Well, we're seeing a lot of shipping lines encroaching on freight forwarding space.
Really?
So we're seeing a lot of shipping lines who will only deal with the ultimate shipper and the ultimate consignee, particularly during COVID. They got very greedy and started to push out the freight forwarders. I don't think there's a lot of respect from shipping lines towards freight forwarders. They see us as an unnecessary evil. But
same with my industry.
Yeah. What we bring to the table is freight forwarders have local knowledge.
Yeah.
You can get hold of a freight forwarder when you need them, if they're a good freight forwarder. Whereas a shipping line, you try and ring a shipping line at 5:01, you got no chance, they're gone.
Yeah, but the reason why the shipping lines don't like you is you're neutral in this. If you've got cargo that needs to go somewhere, you can just use another shipping line.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or if the client wants to pay to send it by air, we'll send it via air. The shipping lines only want to deal with the end client because it's just them on that ship.
Yeah.
Similar, again, this is a a unicorn moment, but it's when Amazon told FedEx and UPS to get fucked. We're just going to do it ourselves because they had the volumes. And obviously they'd pushed FedEx and those guys to the point of that they couldn't go any lower. And obviously Amazon just realized, well, if we just own the planes, we can just do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
And I guess that, you know, they took an entire industry and get that. But like, one cannot really exist without the other. Like, you can't even rely without the ship. You can't survive without the ships because the air freight alone is just not practical. And the shipping lines can't rely without you because if they could, they would, but they haven't.
No. Customs regulations.
Yeah.
You know?
Good luck with that.
We have 3 in-house brokers here in Australia. You know, with all these tariffs that are going on, they've never been more important. You know, there's moving components every day. Shipping lines don't offer that. You know, we have people calling us up and just asking us for advice. You know, I'm looking at sending this product to South Korea or bringing this product in from South Korea. Can you tell me what the potential duties, tariffs are? Shipping lines don't offer that. It's, you know,
they don't care.
We're a bit of a point of a difference as a freight forwarder, and but ultimately it comes down to service. If we do not, you know, we're basically an international logistics company. Concierge. Yeah, concierge. Yeah.
Freight concierge service. What do you look for when you look for stuff? What do you look for in someone who comes through the door?
Not so much the experience, but the personality. I think.
What about the personality?
I've had this conversation, funnily enough, with my management team in the US when I was over in the US last week. When we hire, we can't hire on what's on the resume. What we want is somebody that wants to come in and wants a career as opposed to a job.
Yep.
To me, that's really important, that people progress through the business. So when I see somebody coming in and heads down and, I can do this, can do that, and I'm really good at it, experience has taught me those people won't last in our business. Yeah,
because they won't pick up a phone when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Or they won't answer the phone when the shit hits the fan. Yeah.
You've got to have people who are comfortable dealing with. We've got a booklet in our office which all our team members have got. It's called Cool Not Cool.
Okay.
So with this booklet, example, a cool thing is, okay, we've got a problem with a shipment. I'm going to call the client and tell them. A not cool thing is, I'm going to ignore the problem and bury my head in the sand until they call me and it becomes a bigger problem. So I'm looking for people that have got a proactive mindset, that are willing to grow and want to grow and accept that in freight forwarding, there is no work-life balance. And that's why it's not fair, everybody.
Yeah, well, same with recruitment.
You know, all of our people in Australia work in the office. Why? I get people, and I'll probably get hounded for this.
Yeah,
but
you'll be right.
We've got a great culture and great people.
Yep.
And we've built that through people talking and being in the office and having drinks on a Friday night together. Going out for lunches together. That's what builds a culture, and that's, I want people with a personality. I don't want robots when I take people on.
Yeah, I second all that. Amen to that. Has it always been the way?
No. It always used to be, have they got experience? Have they got experience in the software we use? Okay, yeah, tick. You can start next week. Brilliant. In you come. We got lucky sometimes, but more times than not, it didn't work out well.
A lot of companies ask me, how do I improve culture? How do I improve our hiring techniques? You know, we go to a company and it's a revolving door. A couple of manufacturers I deal with, we can't seem to retain good staff. We were good and then something's happened. They're not paying, their EBA's out of date. That's number one in my client space. It's not competitive. That's why I'm here. But at the end of the day, I think more companies need to learn to look within. Like, it's always going to come down to a management decision, a board decision. We've always done it this way. We've always done it that way. I mean, look at, prime example would be Ansett. They were the dominant player in Australia.
Yep.
They could not handle when the industry got deregulated because they weren't prepared to change the ways that they'd done it for close to 100 years. And at one stage, Ansett was bigger than Qantas.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
And you know what? If you look at the Virgin terminal, you can always just make out the Ansett thing behind it. I do it. Same with you. I do a lot of flying, right? But what do you think? The reason why I'm bringing this up, as your business is growing and you're getting bigger team in Queensland and inevitably the US and potentially something in Europe and maybe Africa if they can get their shit together, what do you know you're going to have to change in the business? What do you know that we're doing something now that's working, but I know in 5 years' time when we're doing all this other stuff, something's going to have to change. What do you think that's going to be? You can take a guess.
Processes in the way we do things, and you know, we touched on earlier about AI, and I think it's really important that you've got an open mindset to change. You can't continue doing things this way because it's always been done this way. If you do that as a business, you will die. You have to evolve and change with times. And there is so much technology and disruption out there for businesses with AI coming in that you have to look into everything. You know, anything that gives you that competitive advantage. So you've always got to be looking at changing your processes and seeing where people's job roles are going to have to change because there's now a better way of doing this as opposed to doing it. We'll carry on doing it that way because we've always done it. No, that doesn't mean it's the efficient way. You know, you look at emails, you know, people are a slave to emails in our trade.
It's like,
answer email.
Whoa. You can always, especially my girls in the nails, you can hear them going SOS, like they're napping out. I'm like, what the, what are we doing? Yeah. Pick up the phone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pick up the phone.
That's how you build a relationship. Pick up the phone.
Don't do that. I can't unsend that.
So true. True.
Stop. Like, what are we doing? And you can hear. Okay. I'll tell you something. So this is Meta AI glasses, right? I've been using them for about 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
So there's camera in here. Photo thing.
Are you serious?
Right? But it's not, we were playing around with this the other day, right? And you got speakers here so you don't have to have AirPods, right? Once these things you can start reading off them, phone's done.
That's incredible.
Now
that's so true.
Okay, so the phone's dead.
Yeah, once you can start reading off that.
Once you start reading off that, you can put scripts in it now, right?
Wow. You can put scripts in there?
Yeah.
Honestly?
Yeah, no problem. You put a scription in there, no problem. Off you go. So they're good for audio and they're good for that. And, you know, they do, you know, we were mucking around with them the other day, right? But that's the Meta platform, right? So, and it just told me my battery's 54%. And technology's going. So I'm fascinated around that Google AdWords. Google in Australia had a bad quarter, not last quarter before, where their ad revenue dropped in Australia. I firmly believe that is because of AI ChatGPT search. I plugged it into our Mac system about 2 months ago, so when anyone's searching now, it automatically searches using ChatGPT. All the iPhones are now plugged into it. So instead of searching with Siri, it'll search with Siri and then ask, do I want to search with ChatGPT? Do you see that being a hindrance to your industry? Because if someone's now looking for a freight forwarder where you've built an entire business around Google search, SEO, website, it's now suddenly they're being told by AI who to fucking use.
Yeah. And that's why personal brand is so important.
Correct. And that's what I was going to bring into it. Because, and this is why I'm doing this, is because people like being told what to do. People like using a recruiter because they don't want to go find their own job. People want to use a freight forwarder because they don't want to deal directly with just one shipping line. They prefer to deal directly with you, and then you use your network and your gut feeling on where to best move their cargo.
Yeah.
They don't care if mid-shipment you reroute their shipment to somewhere else because you know suddenly a boat just went sideways in the Suez Canal, which might have created a few problems for you at the time.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. As well as drive up rates, yeah.
I bet you would have gone, sorry, fucking what's happened in the canal?
Well, the second time in like 50 odd years. Yeah. What were the chances of that happening?
I thought it was the picture that I found funny from this little excavator at the front of it trying to dig it out.
That's right, yeah. And you look at that.
He's doing a big job. He's not as quick as he can, guys.
He's still there today. You've got to dig it out.
Man, but that's the sort of thing you need to, like, you can't plan for that.
No.
But do you think that the way that it was handled was, I don't know, I just think at the end of the day, you've got a ship stuck. It's in another one got stuck a little bit or ran aground in the canal.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But now there's not as many vessels using it because of this war that's going on.
Yeah, and the pirates. And
the Houthis, yeah.
Is that still going on?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I thought the US told them to chill out.
Yeah. I don't think they're chilling out.
This is it. Like, because obviously this is, ships burn fuel, which is expensive, and they're burning more of it, and the ships are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now,
ships also catch fire.
Yes, they do.
We've had that happen.
Yeah, a car carrier went up a little while ago full of EVs.
Yeah.
That scares the shit out of me, actually, because there's nothing you can do.
Nope, you're stuck out there. And yeah, we had a client who was bringing in a shipment from India. Vessel caught fire just outside of the port in Nava Shiva. So the insurer called General Average. The vessel got moved to a dry dock in Shanghai, and it sat there for 12 months. And this is where insurance is important. Our client didn't have insurance. He had to pay for his product, which was, $150,000 piece of machinery.
Just sitting there
for 12 months. He desperately needed it, and it sat. Nobody knew how long it would sit there for. So it sat there for 12 months. Insurers phoned him up and says, look, if you want your cargo, we've called General Average. It's at this percentage. You basically owe us 100 grand.
Fuck.
I said, I'm not paying 100 grand. I can't afford to. And it went on and on and on. In the end, he agreed a deal. But those little life lessons of, shit goes wrong and it happens, Sorry, I digressed. I
love that because my best friend owns an insurance brokerage, Interlink, and I hear stories like this all the time. It's people just think, how much could something cost to freight? But it's not just the freight cost; it's the insurance cost, it's the customs clearance. Must be so. You must find it difficult when a client comes to you and goes, this sounds expensive, when you're making nothing on the fucking deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, we've done the best job. We're actually doing this to give you a service. Because if we charge normally what we charge for this, that seems extra. But it's only going to get more expensive.
Yeah. There's always going to be other forwarders that are cheaper than you, and they're going to have their reasons for being cheaper. Whether it's they don't have as much labour involved in their shipments, or they've got better agreements. They haven't actually quoted everything. They're not comparing apples with apples.
Oh, I guess that would drive you insane.
Oh, we see it all the time.
What do you see the future of the freight forwarding industry? Consolidation, specialisation. I've seen it with recruitment recently, where the big guys made a lot of staff redundant in the last 2 years. So there's been startup boutique firms all over the place at the moment. Yeah.
We've seen a lot of digital freight forwarders come online over the last sort of 10 years or so, particularly you look at somebody like Flexport in the US, they're a huge company.
They have their place, but they don't have the expertise.
No, and what freight forwarding ultimately is, as I said before, we're a service industry.
Yeah.
So without the service industry service that you're providing, what you're actually giving if you're not giving a personal service to your clients. And I think that's where the smaller freight forwarders are a bit more nimble. And we're definitely seeing, a push on, carbon footprints, I mean, that's been going on for a long time. We actually offer a carbon neutral shipping for our clients. We've got a...
How do you do that, with a credit back? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
So, basically build credits and bill it to the client. But that's been slower on the uptake than I actually thought it would be, to be honest with you.
It's probably just the way it's packaged.
Yeah.
I mean, look, how many times do you fly? I always select it, but I always select the carbon neutral.
Yeah. It's a bit of a less guilt.
So obviously the industry's getting greener, as everyone is, and trying to offset it with this and that.
Visibility as well.
Listen, at the end of the day, the ship fucking burns some really interesting fuel types. I mean, there's a handful of LNG. Isn't there? I think there's even a hydrogen fucking container ship out there, but there's one of them.
Yeah. There's more being built right now. I think MSC, the world's biggest shipping line, have just placed an order for nearly 200 new vessels.
Okay,
so they're moving down that route.
So, but this is all thing, like, we're not talking thing, but like, you guys are kind of the gatekeepers of the world. Like, I look at you like, without freight forwarders, without shipping, the whole world comes to a grinding halt. How does the industry attract younger talent?
Great question. Because
that's every industry's issue at the moment, because everyone wants to be a YouTuber or an influencer.
Oh, yeah. And people join you 6 months later, they want 6-figure salaries.
Yeah.
We're very much in the world that wants things now. We sexy it up, you know, and that's why we promote ourselves the way we do on socials. And, you know, I encourage my team to fly out to places like Brazil and go and represent the company and be in China. And I want my team members to do that, because that's a value add for them. They get to see the world. You know, okay, you're gonna work hard. It's a pressure cooker environment, freight forwarding. There's so many moving parts every day, but you've also got the opportunity to make connections globally with people, and you can travel the world.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real plus point that a lot of freight forwarders don't drill down on.
Yeah.
And you've just got to give people the opportunity to do that. And I'm a great believer in that. What we're seeing in customs brokerage on the other side of it, there's a dearth of freight forward customs brokers coming through in the industry in Australia. There's not that many. I think last time I checked, there was only a few hundred. It's an unsexy industry, customs brokerage. You know, looking through all the tariff lines, and maybe with these tariff wars, people will now start to realise the importance of having being a broker, and it's suddenly becoming a bit more sexy, a bit like freight forwarding did when COVID hit. But it's. I personally think it is a really good industry for anybody to get into, and
yeah, it is.
You know, you've got
especially if you don't know what you want to do yet.
Yeah, you know, we've got people who've come to us and they've studied international trade, and they've looked at international trade and gone, oh, okay, I'll give freight forwarding a go. If, you know, every day is different. It's not like working in superannuation or insurance. Every day is going to be different. And I think that's what makes freight forwarding so appealing. It's just a case of getting the message out there and showing people, you know, this is what you can achieve in freight forwarding. You can travel the world. You can have connections around the world. You know, I know any one of my team members can jump on a plane and say, "Oh, look, I'm going."
And trust,
I'm going to Prague next week. Do you know anyone in Prague? Yeah, go and see so and so in Prague. They'll take you out for dinner. They'll look after you. Bang. You know, any one of my team members can do that. You know,
I love that.
Yeah, and that's what. And then equally so, if you know somebody comes over from, you know, Egypt or, you know, Vietnam, to come and see us, we'll take them out, show them a good time, show them the local.
What do you think the freight forwarding industry could do better as an industry whole? And I'll give you an example, right? So I think us as a recruitment industry could work better with government authorities on licensing, implementation, and also the perceived whole of an industry, because it's not perceived in a great light. Okay, I think that we could work better as an industry. Big players, little players, I think we could all work better on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think regulation, there isn't really a set regulation, particularly here in Australia.
Yep.
In the US, you've got the FMC.
Yep.
You've got to get your MVOCC bond to actually deal directly with the shipping lines. So there's more layers in the US to run a freight forwarding business, whereas in Australia, and we've seen it, we've seen freight forwarders running a business, get into trouble, not pay their their trucking companies, not pay their staff, and then
bye-bye.
The following week they've set up another business under a different name, and they start all over again. So we're really weak on regulation in the freight forwarding industry.
It'll come. I believe a lot of these, us included, service-based businesses will have to work out of a trust account model, very similar to financial services. And
I think that would be great.
Yeah, because unfortunately, when you're dealing with service business, it's we've all heard the shocking the stories, and I'm just like, I think that's what every industry needs to work on is the perceived view of what the public looks at them. It pisses me off that recruiters are put in the same boat as used car salesmen.
Yeah, you do get a bad rep, don't you?
Yeah, we have fucking bad rep,
because there's a lot of sharks out there in recruitment, and you it must really piss you off.
Oh, it pisses me off because I'm a fellow of the RAC, which is the UK recruitment body. I didn't convert it over to Australia when I came over. The reason why I have this Australian British accent is I'm originally from Adelaide, and Adelaide is more Britain than Britain. They're more British than Britain, right? So, and I'm spending 7 years there and coming back. Like, yes, recruiters have a bad name. This is why I also do this podcast, is to say that we are fucking humans.
Yeah.
We fuck up, yeah. Do we get every deal right? No, but I've got, I made a name in Melbourne in the commercial fuel tanker space. That's where I really, transport trailer equipment, commercial fuel tankers, I supply a lot in Sydney and Melbourne, right? That's where I made my name. And before then, it was local authority work in the UK, and in Perth, it was all fit out construction. So you get these niches right. But it does piss me off because we all work really fucking hard. Yes, but there's a bit like, it's like every industry. That there's dodgy fucking freight forwarders out there.
Oh, yeah.
That they'll do it on price, and they'll try to get it back on some sort of weird fucking levy or some sort of, we had this bond, we had this charge that we didn't factor in.
Yeah.
And it's outside of our terms and conditions. So
yeah.
Yeah. And you don't play that shit. Yeah. And I guess that's where the difference between you're at is you're open book, transparent. This is what we're doing. This is how much money we're making, and go from there.
Yeah.
Like there's no, and that's why you've got the reputation you have. And that's why you have the following you have on LinkedIn.
Yeah. You're not going to be the cheapest, but we try and be the best. We'll
cheapest.
do the right thing by you.
You can't be the cheapest, especially with some of the cargoes that you're shipping.
Yeah.
That electric plane that you shipped.
Yeah.
That ain't going to work if it gets shipped wrong.
No.
And that's expensive. I love it when people go to a cheaper price, especially my business. They'll get my clients, say, you're too expensive. Generally because we pay our base rates higher to our can. That's right. And then the client will come back to us in 6 months' time and say, can we talk? I said, why is that? Well, we had this fabricator in and he broke, he didn't construct it right, and it cost us $200,000. I was only $4 an hour more expensive than the other company. You've spoken about your core values. You've spoken about what you look for in staff. You've talked about how to bring new people into the industry. What would you like to be known for in freight forwarding when you're done?
Me personally, or the business?
Both.
Somebody that can be trusted and actually backs up what they do.
Okay.
To me, that's really important. Reputation is everything in business.
Yep.
And you work really hard to build that reputation. You don't want to lose it. No. And to me, I would like us to be known as, those guys are bloody good and they know their shit. They're a great freight forwarder. They know the stuff. When there's a problem, they tell me. Been a pleasure to work with. You know, and even with you know, team members, employees, really believe in having a great place for them to work. It's really important. You know, our offices, if you come into our offices,
I'll come in with it.
It's green. You know, we've got plants everywhere. We've got natural light coming in.
Yep.
Yeah, we pay more money for our office, and we're in Cremorne, which is expensive part of the world.
Very nice.
But you know what? People enjoy being there, and that's really important. And I think, I'd love people to actually think he's an all right bloke.
You are an all right bloke. I wouldn't have you on if you weren't all right. I wouldn't.
Thank you, Tav.
My podcast, my rules. Oh, yeah, that's how it goes, yeah. I think your reputation alone is what is going to drive the business. Just your reputation, your personal brand, what you've achieved, but you deliver.
Yeah.
Like, I had a look at your online reviews and stuff. They're fucking good.
Talk is cheap. You got to walk the walk.
Yeah.
You know, we can all shout from the top of the rooftops how brilliant we are, but you've got to have those runs on the board and you've got to back it up.
Do you look at when your competition copy you as compliment or ripping you off?
I do actually look at it as a compliment.
Good.
I think it's actually the best form of flattery, to be honest with you. I've come across a couple of companies that have overseas that have particularly, they've basically ripped off our model. And you know what? I'm comfortable with that as long as you don't pretend to be part of us. I'm okay with it.
Do you see offering other services within what you offer at the moment, like your own warehousing, your own containers?
Yeah. I mean, look, we offer 3PL solutions to our clients. We offer warehousing, which, you know, but then at the same time,
your own warehousing, or you?
No, we subcontract globally. Globally.
I could see you being very good at that, though, running your own warehouse.
Yeah, but do I need that shit?
Yeah, fair point.
I've looked at it. I've spoken to people. I was actually caught with a guy a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "Oh, mate, yeah, you're right. Stay away from it."
I had Daniel from X Commercial on recently, and we spoke about exactly commercial, and he says, "Mate, that space is so on fire at the moment.
Yeah,
like anything to do with distribution 3PL is just insane."
But then you look over in the US, in LA. When I was over last week, there's warehouses empty and struggling.
Yeah, it's not good.
So it swings and roundabouts, but you've got to have that good pipeline. You know.
Is that an opportunity though for you to take that space and to try to do a deal with it?
Absolutely, yeah. In every crisis,
it was built for something.
Yeah. In every crisis, there's opportunity. You've just got to find that opportunity, and you've got to drill down on it.
So, where do you think, without going into trade secrets again, where your opportunities are in emerging markets? Because US is going through this tariff thing, but it seems to be people want to now do more work within the borders of the US.
Yeah. So we see a lot of nearshoring as well.
Yeah. Okay.
When I say nearshoring, the US, we've seen a lot of products move away from or a lot of clients move away from manufacturing over in China and Asia to manufacturing in Mexico. And there's a lot of cross-border business between the two countries, which is known as nearshoring. And to be honest with you, 70% of my office in LA is Mexican.
Nice.
So we've really drilled down on that. And, you know, we've targeted LATAM over the years, and, you know, we've built a good export pipeline to you know, Latin and Central and South America. So you just got to pivot and focus on your strengths, you know. My sales guy used to work for me down here in Melbourne. When I got shafted all those years ago, he was actually back over in Mexico because of COVID. I called him up and I said, "Ed," I said, "you fancy working in the US?" "Oh, David, I'd love to." I says, "Right, meet me in LA next week. I've got an immigration attorney. We're going to sit down and have a conversation, see if we can get you into the US. Went over, met him. And this is a guy who worked for me for 5 years in Melbourne prior. Yeah. So we sat down. Within 6 months, him and his family moved over to the US. Now living in LA, got a whole new life. And shit like that I love, because by him being a really good bloke and being a bloody good salesman, he's now got the opportunity to live and work in the US for him and his family, you know, which I've taken a risk on him.
Yep.
And it's taken time for him to build his pipeline, but you know what? It all comes back to, you know,
I
relationships.
Think, relationships and personal brand.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing we need to take away from today's things is relationships and personal brand. Is there anything else you would like to cover before we wrap this up?
Not off the top of my head, Tav, but I would like to thank you for the opportunity to do this. It was fantastic. Thank you.
I'm going to get you on next year again. I want an update.
Awesome.
Thank
Brilliant.
You. Take care, guys. Look at yourself.